This is Robin with Robin's Creative Space, and today is day 69 of my 100 days of my art journals. Um, let's see. Last time I left off, I had just done a really light wash of my new watercolors from Artistro. It was an inexpensive set, and actually, I'm really liking them. This was super light wash, and then I took a pen. I had an old Sharpie. It was like an indigo color, really pretty. It was soft. I thought it'd be nice to try with this. Worked out great until it didn't, because it died. So I didn't have another one. I did find this gel pen I have. That is a close color. I kind of went over that area right there. And I might come back to this, I might not. I did a lot of scribbling when I started it, and you can see all the scribbles in here. So I'm not really sure when I'll come back to this, but if I want to, I can use this gel pen and from Jelly Roll. It's a Sakura from Jelly Roll, and I can use that and see where it takes me if I want to go back and rework that a little bit. I did do another darker watercolor page right here. I've already taken the tape off. I just kind of marked it off so that I would have like an area in the center that was colored, and love the way these colors turned up. I mean, they're just really, really bright and beautiful. You can see these interesting marks I have here. I used alcohol, and I dropped the alcohol on the watercolors while they were wet, and when it dried, it left this really cool little just a different texture, I guess, if you will, on the page, and I really like that. So working on that one. Another thing I did get was some grabby acrylic markers. They're made in China, but they are UV resistant. They're blendable and acid free. They're this is the extra fine tip, which is a 0.7, which is the same as the Poscas, the Posca PC1MRs are also a 0.7, and it works really good. I tried them because I needed another black, and I also need another white in the 0.7, and I thought I'd try these because they were inexpensive again, and they had good reviews on Amazon, so I grabbed them, and they work good. The only problem I can say I had with them when I was working over here is that on this watercolor paper, it's a rough, it's a cold press rough, and I have a heavy hand to begin with. So when I would push down, if I was pushing down a little bit too hard, it would kind of catch in the ridges of the watercolor paper, and it would spray a little bit. But that's more user error than it is, I think, a error on the acrylic markers. This tip, you probably can't really see, but this is a plastic tip through here. So it will last a while, I hope. They had, like I said, it had good reviews. I read all the reviews on them, and we'll see. You know, for now, it works for what I need. And like I said, a lot of the splattering is definitely user error on my part. So just have to be a little lighter handed with them. And they do work great on the smooth, like the Dina Wakley smooth, smooth mixed media paper. So they do work great there. So I have no complaints with that. And they'll work for what I need it for. And like I said, it was inexpensive, so I didn't feel like I was putting a lot of money out for it, so I was okay with that. And so I have this to start working with, and also another piece that I want to really go back to is this one. I started it, I enjoyed it, and I kind of just left it because I didn't do anything else with it, but I really want to. A lot of possibilities. I think that coming in and just filling in all of these big blank spaces will be something very nice, relaxing, just putting doodles inside there, and it will, take up a few days for sure to get it finished. So I may be working on this one also. And on this side, this is another page I have prepped in my last video. Hopefully you can see the whole page. The glare you see is from using the pearlescence acrylic inks. And this is actually the pearlescent white pearl. And that is the shine and sheen you see, along with the, this is the waterfall, what is it called? Waterfall green. And this is another pearlescent, and that also leaves that little bit of shine that's showing up on the camera. But it's real pretty when it's on the paper. And I did go and pick up a couple microns because these are super fine. I got the 03 and the 005, which are some of the smallest ones they make. The 005, I believe, is the smallest they make, which is a 0.20 millimeter line, pretty small. And this one is the 03, which is a 0.35. So these are pretty small. They're also archival, also made by Sakura in Japan. Great, great pens. Waterproof, archival ink. What else can I say about them? They're just really good. Anyway, I did break down and buy 2 of these from a little local newsstand we have downtown. And I got these so that I can work on some pages and just do some super fine doodling and lines. And I did smear right there. That was my mistake. So I have these also for doing some fine line work. I've just been staying busy and kind of going back through. I'm looking at different pages that I want to go back and revisit. I like these because they're super bright. But I've got some pages I really want to revisit and work on and see what I can do, differently, if I want to doodle, if I want to turn them into art, what actually I want to do with each one. I'd like to work on this because I think this has potential. I don't know for what, but I do believe it has some potential here. There's a lot of layering. There's layers of collage here that has paint on top of it. This would be really fun to go back and revisit. And this is, I was actually doing something very large, a large piece of artwork at one time, and I was using this to wipe off my brushes. So this is kind of cool. So it's something I can work with. And that's about it. Oh, and this piece right here, this is where I had used tape on some bigger mixed media pieces that I had done on large pieces of art paper. And I would tape off the edges or tape off in between to do like a little series or whatever it was I was working on. And I saved the tape. And I think it's really pretty because it's got so much texture and so much color. And I think it'll be really cool to just like do a whole spread in it. Eventually it'll take a lot of tape, but it will be something really cool to keep adding to and see where it goes. There's so many things that you can do in your art journals, and you know, so many things you can go back and start. And if you get bored with that, or you end for a day and don't feel it the next day, you can always go back and revisit it another day. So like I said, this one is probably something I'm going to go and revisit. Well, I am going to be doing it. And yeah, so I just want to, you know, kind of fill it with doodles and see where that goes and just start working on it. Another thing I wanted to mention, oh yes, this is what I wanted to show you, because this was something great I found out. I had purchased these, and they're the, probably gonna pronounce it wrong, it's French, Caran D'Ache Watersoluble Crayons. They're kind of like the Neo, they're kind of like the Neo colors that they put out, but they're basically water-soluble crayons. And they don't work well on textured paper, so they don't work really great on watercolor paper for me. I'd even thought about sending them back, except that I lost the packaging that it came in. So I ended up keeping them, and what I started doing with them on this page that was just really, really fun was I started coming in and adding color. I was actually adding the yellow to it because I didn't have a whole lot of yellow, but I loved the way the yellow was showing up with this like turquoise color, and it looked really pretty. And they go on super smooth. You can get your paintbrush or a watercolor brush, or this is a water brush, and just add water to it. Super, I mean, it's just so creamy and so bright, and they dry just like they look. So as I put this down, I will be leaving a beautiful wash of yellow here, and I can go back over that with ink, which I'll need to right there because, you know, kind of messed up my dark line there, but they also wipe right off while they're dry, while they're wet. Once they're dry, I'm not sure if they reactivate or not. I would imagine they would. I don't know. But they have a beautiful color. All the colors are really pretty. They don't look that great in here, but honestly, they are just some gorgeous, gorgeous colors. I can show you this is like the turquoise. And if I wanted to say, get some darker in here, I put that down, it's super dark. Gonna add my water brush, and you can just see how beautifully that blends out and how pretty that is. And I'll write this brand in the notes so that you can see it. Highly recommend. And you know, I was gonna send them back because I thought, well, maybe I want the Neo colors instead. Those, especially the Neo Color 2s, you always hear about those. Same brand, same company, but I ended up keeping them because I did lose the packaging they came in. And I'm really glad I did, because when I tried it on this smooth paper, I mean, I was just so impressed. And it just, you know, it adds so much to this, and I just think it looks beautiful. And so I've been going through, and it's been very, very meditative to just put down some color and just blending it out and putting it wherever I feel. And then if I don't like it, I can take it off before it dries. Like I said, I haven't tried reactivating it. That's something that I probably need to do just to see if it's going to happen. But I'm loving the way the colors show up. And I think I'm going to take the gray in here and do some shading and see if maybe I can make some of these areas just pop a little bit more and have some shade. And what it reminded me of when I was adding all the yellow to it yesterday is I was thinking about the sun, and the sun coming in from this direction, and how the sun would hit and kind of flow right through here. And then I was going to come down farther and then add more dark down here and some more yellow up here, and just, you know, kind of see where it took me. And I've thoroughly enjoyed doing this. I don't know where this piece will go from here, but I really, it's not even about that. It's more about just enjoying the process and finding things that relax me. Like I had said last time, I was kind of feeling a lot of the overwhelm. I think a lot of it was also the really wild full moon we just had, and I'm hoping everybody is, you know, doing well, staying grounded and hydrating and taking care of yourself, and, you know, trying to find an outlet in creativity to help you get through these difficult times that a lot of us are feeling. And a lot of us, you know, there's a lot of fear, I think, of course, in the news, in the media, and any way you can find to get creative is a great thing to do. Which reminds me of, if you are familiar with Julia Cameron, she did the book called The Artist's Way. And that was old favorite of mine. I love The Artist's Way. I've done it a couple times. And the one thing, though, I always had a problem with was the artist dates. Now, where I live, we've got a really nice little, very, very old downtown. And there's some art galleries and stuff down there. So for my artist dates, to, take myself on my artist dates weekly, like, she suggests you do, I would go downtown, go through the art, the different art stores they had, or the different galleries that were down there with local artists. But it's a small downtown, and you can only do so much of that. Okay, right here, change the subject, where I smeared the paint, it also kind of brought up a lot of the paper. So when I tried putting this down on the rough paper, it really didn't work out that well. So that's good to note. So we'll go to the watercolors for that part. But back to The Artist's Way, the finding an artist date, new ideas for an art date for myself, for an artist date, was always really difficult. However, I have found my new passion for creativity for an artist date, and that is our local library. I think we forget a lot about the resources that we have that have been around for so long. And local library is one of them. It's a great place to go. And every time I go, I find something new I'm totally interested in. One week I brought home books on women artists, famous women artists throughout time. I've brought home, I've got right now, aromatherapy, because I've always been interested in aromatherapy, and also how to create weathered textures in watercolor, which I thought would be really cool to look at. And the great thing about going to your local library is there's no lines, there's nobody talking politics in line, there's no hurry, it's quiet, it's relaxing, and there is something in there for everyone, no matter who you are and what hobbies or crafts or creative endeavors you're looking at getting back into or starting, or just trying to get a feel for if it's something that you might like or not. You can't beat the library because they have books on everything, and I love our local library. Every time I go there, I just get lost. I get lost in a sea of books, and I always bring home something that I wasn't planning on bringing home that just sparked my interest. And it's just a great place to go spend time, and it's just a calming, quiet, very interactive. The people who work at the library are wonderful, and it's not one of those kind of things where it's like in school where everybody is constantly telling you to shush. Really, there's no one talking because everyone's got their head in books, but it's just very calm and very nice. And they also have borrowing libraries that they work with, that you can go and maybe get a book that you want, but it might be at another library. Well, they can get it in for you, which is one of my women in art books. It was Hilma Offklint that I wanted to get, and they got that for me from another library, which was great. So I got that book, and it's just, it's just a resource that, since my kids grew up and I wasn't taking my kids to the library, and my granddaughter lives so far away now, I just wasn't going there, and completely forgot about how wonderful our local library is. So if you have a library nearby, go check it out. You never know what you'll find. Maybe you'll find something on candle making and you want to start making candles, or just a good novel or a series that you want to read. Instead of purchasing the series, you can go to the library and check it out. It's free, it's local, and it's something that is just one of those beautiful resources that's great in any weather. You can go in the rain, you can go in the heat, you can go in the wintertime storms, and you never have to worry about any of it because you're inside, and it's great. And so I just highly recommend that. And that's my tip for today, because that has been my artist dates lately, and I I love them. Every week, go to the library, and I just always find something super cool to check out and to look at. And whatever I think I'm going to go look for, I end up looking at something totally different that is just priceless. So that's another thing for creativity. And they've got cookbooks too. They've got books on everything, flower arranging. I couldn't even begin to think to name all of the resources a local library has. So go check it out and see what's happening at your local library. Either way, make it a creative weekend, and I hope you are surviving whatever weather is coming your way. And for everyone that's in the horrible tornadoes and the floods, and just know that everyone's got you in their thoughts and prayers, and be safe and be aware and leave when they tell you to. So take care and have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.